Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video here we successfully created one of the factories and also we have created the model, that means admin model. We'll have created one of the controller as an admin controller, right? And also we see all the data in our database table. So that is our database. I have created one of the table as a admins, and into the admins table I see all the data, right? So now our next step for creating that multi-authentication system, we have to create one of the guards. So if you want to create that guards, then you have to do, so right now we don't need this. I remove everything, I make it as a clean. So if you want to create that guards, then you have to go to that config, into the config, that is our auth.php. So Laravel actually by default use this guard. Okay, that means the web guard, and now I want to create another guard for our admin. So you can see there is a guards, and you can also add multiple guards into this guard array. So here I want to create another one. Better I copy it and then I paste it. So it will be as a admin. So now I want to create another guard for the admin, and also into the drivers. So the driver will be as a session, and there is a providers, and providers will be our admins. So that will be as a admins. And after that also we have to create one of the providers. So that is actually our providers. So now I want to create, copy it, and now I'm to create another one. So whatever the things you actually add into this guards area, so I name it the provider name as the admins, right? So also make that sure you add that same name, that means your provider's name. So here it will be as a admins. So into this admins, that is our models. So I have already created one of the model in our app, and the models into the app, and there is our models, and they have the admin. So now I want to use our this admin class. So that will be our admin class. Perfect. And then there is our password. So for the password, by default there is a user, actually using the providers, actually the users. Right now I want to add another one for our admins. I copy it and I paste it. So it will be as the admins and the providers, and I have already created the providers is the admins, right? So that is our admins. And then our table will be the reset password will be the same, and expired to 60, and everything will be just like that same. Okay friend, and then there is a password timeout. So here I simply created another guard for our admin. So that is our provider name I have declared, that is our it will be using our admin model. So right now I simply save it. And as I told you friend, that is one of the when you run your PHP artisan route list, I show you again as a PHP artisan, and then route and the list, click as a enter. So into this route list they have the logging, right? So as I told you before, so there is a registered log, that is actually the logging. So into this logging here, that is actually the responsible, and that particular this file, there is a Laravel 45 HTTP controller and authenticated session controller. So this is the authenticated session controller. This create method is actually responsible for the logging, right? So first of all I want to find out this file. So if you want to find out, like in Windows, that's Control P, and with this Control P I want to search it with the authenticate. Okay, authenticate session. Okay, authenticate session, and then the controller. So you can see that is the actual, they have the two ones, that is actually copy one, and that is our two-factor authentication, and add another one as a vendor Laravel 45 SRC HTTP controller, and that is the authenticated session controller. So now I want to access it. So if you now open it, so that is the authenticated session controller, and here you can see that is actually protected by the guards, and also this guard is auth management, and there is a factory PHP, everything is on here. And there is also one of the middleware is the authenticated session middleware, and here there is a constructor as a guard, and there is a create, and that is the create method is responsible for our this user logging. Okay, that means the default user logging. So now I want to create another one for admin. So step by step everything will be very clear to you. And also they have the store, then do the store, that is our the logging pipe. That means that is actually call one of the, you can see that is actually call one of the logging pipe, one of the methods. So that is actually the logging pipeline method. And with the pipeline method, that is our attempt authentication, that is a prepared authentication session, and there is a redact two-factor authentication session, and also it's provided another one as the ensure logging is not thwarted, that is one of the another one. All right, so here actually it's working with this, and there is our destroy everything. So if you want to check it, I show you, like that is actually our constructor. In the constructor, if you want to check it with the dd, that is the dd, and here if you want to check it, that means which guard default actually it's using. So as I told you, by default Laravel using that web guard. So if you click as this and the guard, okay, so I added the guard. So if you want to add this guard in particular that area, and after that if you click as a save all, and now I want to log out from here. And now you can see, friend, it's now by default actually using that web guard. Okay, so you can see that is actually using that web guard. So now I want to use another guard for the admin. So when it will be as a admin / logging, then it will be used our another guard as a web. Okay, so right now I want to do that work. So right now we don't need this. I remove it, click as a save all. If you now refresh it, so it's successfully now logged out. So yeah, successfully now logged out. So here we have to do step by step. We have to create this part. So here it's actually using one of the interface. So that is interface name as a stateful guard. So if you put, you can see that is actually the stateful guards page. If you go there, and that is the interface, and this interface guard actually extended one of the guard. So if you put that guard, you can see that is actually the main guard. Okay, friends. So into the guard, there is our check. It should be check it. It should be check that guest or not. It should be check that user, and it should be also added as a functional ID, the validation. So everything it should be managed by this guard. So that is the appropriate file location. So if you put your cursor here, you can see there is a Laravel, that the vendor, Laravel, the framework, and there is the SRC, the illuminate, the contact, and the auth folder, and then that is our guard.php. So that is actually the file is responsible for our guard. Okay. So I hope you can you get some of the little idea where exactly that file is structured. So that is actually one of the interface actually using. So that is interface name as a stateful guard interface. And also one things you have to remember, like if you go to that our app, that means the app action, that is our Fortify. So when you install the default authentication system, it's actually provided, that is our Fortify, and into the Fortify, that is our JD stream also. Okay, so into the Fortify here, if you go to that, another one actually is created. So into the providers, if you go to that our provider, right now there is a providers, into the providers, that is our app, you can see that is actually 45 service providers. So into the 45 service providers, that is one of the register method. So here, friend, we have to update it. So by default, that's the responsible for our also for creating that authentication, that is a 45 service providers. So now I want to search it, that is another one. If you click as a Control P, and I want to search it with the Fortify. Okay, 45 service providers. So that is actually the 45 service providers. You can see there is a 45 service providers. Another one is a 45 service providers. But that is in our app providers, and there is a 45 service provider, right? And there is another one as a vendor library folder. There is a 45 folder, the SRC folder, and that is our 45 service provider.php. So now I want to access it. Like if you open it, so here if you open it, so that is actually the file. So here you can see there is one of the register, and with the register there is one of the app blade, the bind method. So that is actually using that bind method of one of the stateful guard, and here there is actually 45 guard. So now it's binding with the another interface as a stateful guard interface. So here that is the main file. So now we have to actually update it. We have to update our these providers, and that is our 45 service. Okay, so here we have to work. So right now we don't need this. I close it. So that is our 45, and stateful guards also here we have to load it a lot of the time. So that is actually the file. So now in our 45, that is our register. So here I want to update. Okay, so here I want to update it. So if you want to update like this, I name it as this app. Okay, within this app, I want to create another one for our admin guards, right? So that is our app, and when when there have the two things. One will be our I have already created one of the controller. If you go to our controller, so I have created that controller. Sorry, there is a model, so that is our HTTP, there is a controller, that is our admin controller. So that is the admin controller. Here you have to load. So now with this admin controller, I want to add it. That means the admin controller, and that is our class. Okay, I name it that class, and this class will be two things here we have to add. So here we have to add this is our authenticated session. Into the authenticated session, they have the two things. You can see there is an attempt to authenticate, and also we need that redirect to two-factor authenticated. So that is the two things will be needed. So now I copy it. There is an attempt to authenticate. So I copy it. So here it will be also load our this class. Okay, it will be load our this class, and also I want to add another one. Add another one. So make sure you add that semicolon in particular that position. And also there is another one as a two-factor redirect two-factor authentication. So it will be also another one as a I added as a redirect two-factor authenticated class. Okay, so it will be extended two of these. So perfect. So I simply add both of these. That is our admin controller. There is another one is attempt to authenticated class, and there is a redirect two-factor authenticated class. So here I add all the things in particular that area. Okay, so now I add it. So after that we have to add that our need. So that means here we have to add that need. So here we don't need this semicolon because I want to change it on here. So make that clean, and that is our needs. And needs, it should be with our stateful controller. That means that is our one of the stateful that is our stateful guard. So now this guard I want to use it. So that is actually our guard. So needs these guards. So here I want to use it. So that will be as a class. Okay, that will be as a class. And after that I want to add that give. Okay, so give, and into the give area I want to add one of the function. Okay, I want to add one of the function. Our function will be, I name it on the return, and here I name with the auth guard. There is a auth. Okay, that is will be the auth guard, and into the auth guard I want to add as our guard name as a admin. Okay, so here I name it as admin, and make that sure you add that semicolon in particular that area. So friend, here I'm using that authenticated, I'm using that redirect two-factor authenticated. So also we have to use both of these. So better in our authenticated session, here you can see that is our attempt to authenticate. So now I copy it, and here into the 45 I want to load it. And also there is another one as a two-factor authenticable. So I copy it, and now I want to load it. Okay, and also here I'm using another one. I'm using that stateful guard. So here also we have to add that stateful guards. So that is the actually location for the stateful guards. Here you can see that is a illuminate, the contracts, and the auth, and the stateful guards. So now I also want to add it. So I simply add everything. Perfect. So that is one, that is our another one, and that is our attempt to authenticate. And also that is our admin controller. Also we have to add this admin controller. So better after this, that will be use. That will be use, and then in our app. So into the app, and then the HTTP, and then the controllers. That means the controllers, and the controllers I have created one of the admin controllers. So that will be as admin controller. So make that sure you add it, because of all here I have used everything. So make that sure you add everything on here. So now I want to create another guard. So I have to create another guards into the stateful guard. So if you go to that stateful guard, so there's the guards I want to create for our admin. So right now I copy everything, and now in our app, so into the app area I want to create one of the folder, and I just name it as a guards. Okay, I name it as a guards. So into this guards folder I want to create one of the file. I create one of the file. Now click as a save as, and I just name it as a admin. Okay, I name it as admin and then state guard. Okay, .php. So this type of one of the name I want to declare. It should be just like that same. Before that is actually the stateful guard. So now I want to create it for our admin. So for the reasons here I name it as a admin stateful guard. Okay, now I save it. So everything I want to do, I want to copy from our state guard. That means here if you go to that state guards, you can see it's not provided that appropriate file location. So that is our appropriate file location. So from here you can I want to copy everything, and now in our admin, that means for the admin I have created another stateful guard, and here I simply paste it. Okay friend, so here that is actually the procedure. So step by step we have to flow multiple step. So I will show you everything with the live example. So now I want to continue this process. In our next video I will show how you can create multiple authentication step by step. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.